I knew something felt off the moment I got the text from my wife, Ava. It was short, casual, like she had no idea the storm I was about to walk into. Hey, I'll be at Emily's for a bit. Don't be late picking me up. I'd known Emily for years. She was a close friend of ours, always bubbly and welcoming. Nothing unusual there, but something in the way Ava typed it, almost indifferent, almost detached, stuck in my mind. I left work a little early, thinking maybe I was overreacting. The streets were quiet that evening, just a few cars gliding past. I kept checking my watch, trying to ignore the pit forming in my stomach. When I finally reached Emily's apartment, I noticed the car in the driveway. Ava's old Honda. That made sense. But as I stepped closer, something inside me tightened. The building was oddly silent. No laughter, no music, no chatter from inside like I'd expect from a casual night with friends. I knocked lightly on the door, calling out, "Hey, Ava, I'm here to pick you up." No response, just the faint sound of a TV in the background. I tried again, slightly louder this time. "Ava?" Still nothing. Then I noticed the side door ajar. My heart started racing. That wasn't normal. Emily's always so meticulous about locking up. I slipped inside, trying to stay calm. My eyes adjusted to the dim light of the living room. Empty, silent. The air smelled faintly of wine and perfume. I called Ava again, but my phone went straight to voicemail. That's when I heard it, a muffled voice from the hallway. A man's voice. A voice I hadn't expected, and yet somehow I knew. That was Derek, her ex. My stomach dropped. I froze at the edge of the hallway, straining to hear. Ava's voice, faint but unmistakable, called back. The words were clipped, guarded. "Derek, please, just give me a minute." The tone wasn't panicked. Not exactly, but it wasn't warm either. Something in that cadence made my chest tighten. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut, not because of the past. Derek had moved on long ago, but because of the present. Because Ava, the woman I trusted, the woman I had spent nearly a decade with, was in that room with him, shut away from the world. My first instinct was anger, pure, hot, blinding anger. But I forced it down. I needed clarity. I needed to know exactly what was happening before I did something I'd regret. I stepped closer to the door. It was locked. I rapped sharply, my knuckles stinging from the impact. "Ava, open up." Silence. I could hear them talking in low tones. Ava's voice was calm, almost rehearsed. Derek's was smooth, coaxing. There was laughter too, soft, unnerving laughter that didn't belong in a friendship context. I backed up, trying to think. I needed a plan, some rational approach. My mind raced through every possibility. Was this harmless? Was she in danger? Or was she hiding something from me? My hands clenched into fists. The rational side of me said, "Wait, observe, don't confront blindly." Minutes passed like hours. I paced in the living room, every instinct screaming at me, every memory of Ava flashing in my mind. The way she used to smile at me, the way she used to hold my hand in public. And now, this, the betrayal of proximity, even if the intentions were unclear. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. I reached for my phone and dialed Emily. She picked up immediately. "Hey, Alex. Everything okay?" Her cheerfulness was grating in that moment. I forced calm. "Emily, what's going on in your apartment? Is Ava there with someone?" A pause. Her voice faltered just slightly, too brief to be convincing. She's just, catching up with Derek. Old times, nothing weird." My jaw tightened. That "nothing weird" echoed in my mind, ringing hollow. I hung up without another word. I knew I had two options, confront or leave. And in that moment, something shifted inside me. Years of patience, years of trust, years of compromise. All those things that built the foundation of our marriage felt fragile, suddenly brittle. I wasn't about to explode, but I couldn't stand idle either. I knocked one last time, harder, louder, my voice cracking just slightly as I said, "Ava, I need to talk to you." Now, there was a shuffling, then the sound of the lock clicking. The door swung open just a fraction, and she peered through. Her eyes widened in surprise, but not fear. Something else. I saw the hesitation, the momentary guilt flicker, then vanish. "Alex," she started. I raised a hand, stopping her. "Don't. I don't want excuses, not right now. I just need the truth." Her lips pressed into a thin line. Derek's voice came from behind her. "Alex, that's not what you think." I looked past her, meeting Derek's gaze. There was a smirk, casual, almost mocking. My chest tightened, not from anger, but from disappointment. Years of love and loyalty seemed to crumble in the span of a heartbeat. I stepped back, calm, measured, but every step deliberate. You know what? I don't need to see it. I don't need to hear it. I just need to leave. I didn't shout. I didn't slam anything. I just walked to the car, the evening air sharp against my skin. The weight in my chest was heavy, but the clarity was real. I realized something important. Trust once broken doesn't rebuild overnight. Loyalty once misdirected doesn't come back in a day. And love, real love, cannot survive secrecy. As I drove away, the streets empty and dimly lit, I felt a strange mixture of relief and heartbreak. Relief, because I had chosen my dignity over confrontation. Heartbreak, because the woman I loved, the life I envisioned, had quietly shifted into something I no longer recognized. That night, I stayed in my old apartment alone. I replayed every moment of that evening, every interaction, every hesitation, every unspoken word. And in the quiet, I understood something crucial. I had done everything I could. I had given love, patience, and trust. She had chosen her path. And now, it was time for me to choose mine. By morning, I knew my decision was clear. I wasn't angry. I wasn't seeking revenge. I was reclaiming myself. I packed a bag with essentials, left a note on the counter, short, simple, true, and walked out. No dramatic confrontation, no pleading, just quiet resolution. Later, I learned the truth, and it wasn't pretty. But that night, driving into the sunrise, I felt something I hadn't felt in years: freedom. Not just from betrayal, but from the illusion that love could remain where respect and honesty had vanished. And in that clarity, I finally understood that sometimes the hardest decisions are the ones that preserve your soul, not your pride.